Washington Redskins basically today, they were out-coached, they were out-schemed, they were out-hustled, and they had no discipline. You cannot go into a football game against a high-powered offense like this, play no defense. And we always said, this offense will have to score. They did not score today. They have not proven that they can score. Jay Gruden needs to get it together.
Hey yo, what is up everybody? It's B. Milton. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here on the Redskins review. First things first, guys, if you are a Falcons fan and you came here to see this video, to see what I have to say about the Redskins-Falcons game, credit to you guys, credit to the Falcons. You guys were the better team. You guys wanted to win more. You guys out-schemed us. You out-coached us. You outplayed us. Good on you. Good on you. Now, what the next thing I need to get to before I get to the actual football game are these shitty Eagles fans out here. I mean, they don't know how to win. They don't know how to lose. My God, you guys remembered a couple weeks ago how I explained to you guys this story. How I live here in Baltimore, Maryland, right? I'm a Redskins fan, surrounded by Ravens fans. There's Redskins fans here in Maryland, you know, everywhere, still too. But so I'm sitting here, you know, Ravens fans everywhere. A couple weeks ago, the Ravens played the Browns. The Browns, who won 0 games last year, beat the Ravens this year. That same weekend, the Monday night, is when the Redskins played the Saints. And we got blown out by the Saints. And I had all these Ravens fans, oh, ha, 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 look at you. You got your ass kicked. You got blown out by the Saints. Which, I mean, who doesn't get blown out by the Saints, by the way? And second, it's just like, bro, you just lost to the Browns. You have nothing to fucking say to me. You just lost to the Browns. Shut up. Stop being such a retarded fan. Now, we have to sit here. The same thing happens. We lose to the Falcons, who are a good football team. They are way better than what their record is. I said that before going into the game. I said that. And yes, I understand that the Eagles beat the Falcons in the first game of the season. I watched it. I'm sure Eagles fans, you watched it, and you have to admit, both teams that night were complete shit. Both teams looked like garbage. So sure, you guys squeaked out a win when the team didn't figure their shit out, and there's, you know, yeah, good on you guys. Yeah, you guys look garbage that game too. So, but what I'm saying is, now we lose to the Falcons, and it's just nothing and nothing and nothing about but Eagles fans coming up here being all shitty, like, oh, the Redskins stink, and here, we're gonna make our run now, and this and that, and it's just like, wasn't it just you guys a week or 2 weeks? The past couple weeks, it's just been nothing but Eagles fans. Oh, Howie Roseman, go out and do something. Go, we need a running back. We need a wide receiver. We need to fix our team. We're shit. We're 4-4. Oh, yeah. Wasn't it you guys just a couple weeks ago? Every single time you guys came on here, it's just, Howie Roseman, please go out and do something. Our team's shit. We need everybody new. Please go find somebody to play football for us, because our team is shit and 4-4 right now. And it wasn't just you guys, but no, all of a sudden we play a hard football team, get our ass kicked, and then you guys just want to come out of the woodworks and run your fucking mouth all the time. It's just so annoying. It's just so, like, I knew the Super Bowl was going to go to your guys' heads, dude. Like, I knew I knew it. I mean, there's after the first or second game of the season, there's Eagles fans. Don't be afraid to call this team what it is, a dynasty. Oh yeah, we got a dynasty on our hands, guys. We won the Super Bowl one time, and we got a dynasty already. Oh yeah, 4-4 dynasty. Good on you guys. So, all right, I'm done with that. Let's move on to the actual Falcons-Redskins game. Which, by the way, hey, Eagles fans, I don't know. This is during the Cowboys-Titans game, and I don't know who's gonna win that game, because, you know, Dak Prescott's pretty ass. But watch, Cowboys are gonna beat you next week. Watch that. So going into this Falcons-Redskins game, I wanted one of the reasons why I didn't make this video yesterday is because there are some good football games on yesterday that I wanted to watch, and if you guys don't realize, this takes up a good portion of time. So also, we had a bunch of injuries. I wanted to wait and see what was up with the injuries. So we do have 3 starters out for the rest of the season, which is pretty bad, especially on the offensive line. But hey, last year we were shuffling people around. Remember, what was it? We had like 14 different combinations or something on the offensive line last year. and we still went up to Seattle and won or whatever. Do you remember that? Remember how we had the same issues last year? We still had a lot of people out on the offensive line. We can figure this thing out. It does suck, but Brandon Scherf is out for the year, and Sean Laval is out for the year. What I'm just gonna imagine what we're gonna do is, hopefully, I don't know when Trent Williams is coming back, but hopefully our best case scenario, what we can do is have, in my opinion, the best thing we can do is have Trent Williams come back as soon as possible, throw Tyan Secchi at left guard and Tony Bergstrom at right guard. I think that's kind of our best option right now. We'll see. Tyan Secchi's not like a natural guard or anything, but he's played it before last year. We don't really have that many other options. We'll see. We have a veteran quarterback who's supposed to, be able to work through shit like this, right? But let's get into the Falcons game. Yet again, hats off to the Falcons. They outplayed us. They out-schemed us. The Falcons did something. They literally just kind of beat us with Tevin Coleman, didn't they? They literally just schemed up. And this is even going back to the Panthers game. I was surprised that we won the Panthers game, right? Because I thought they had Christian McCaffrey, and I was like, hey, they're going to be smart enough to realize that they have certain matchups that we cannot cover running backs out of the backfield. And I thought what they were going to do a lot more than they did was isolate Mason Foster with put him. They're going to find a way to make him cover Christian McCaffrey, and he just can't cover him. Mason Foster is he's a liability versus covering running backs. It's just so obvious. That's what they murdered us with in this football game. They just did everything better than us. They blocked better. They showed more effort. There's only a few people on this team during that game, like Ryan Kerrigan came up and showed like, hey, I want to win this thing. Vernon Davis showed up and said, hey, I want to win this football game. Stuff like that. Like, there was a few players for the Redskins, but in general, the Falcons just dominated. And we're not gonna the same thing. This is another reason why I'm not super worried about this. It's the same thing as the Saints game. Sure, we got blown out, but we played really good football teams, and we played through the hardest part of our schedule. Now we have the Buccaneers coming up, right? Yep. I'm looking at the wrong schedule here. We got Tampa Bay. Houston's going to be a hard game, but after that it's Dallas, Philly, Giants, Jacksonville, who is garbage, Tennessee, who I think is garbage. I've never been a Marcus Mariota fan. I think they're garbage. Hopefully they do beat the Cowboys today. And then the Eagles again. So, we've played through the hardest part of football that we have to. Now, we don't have a bye week. So injuries is our number one concern. And just like how I had to come up here and talk about shitty Eagles fans, we haven't talked about Eagles fans all year, have we? We have our Eagles in general. We haven't talked about the Eagles. We haven't talked about the Cowboys. If we talked about those teams or the Giants, it's us going through their schedule and that's it. We're not up here making videos just trying to shit on people because we're not worried about other people. You know why? Because we're at 5-3 right now and we're sitting on the top. When you're on top, you don't need to look down. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep the ball rolling. And as long as and when you have that mentality, all we need to do is worry about us. Right now, we need to worry about injuries. That's the number one thing. Another reason why we lost this football game is, did I not make a video about this a couple weeks ago? Excuse me, where I had Chris Cooley answer my question. Now, the question was I already knew the answer, but I still wanted to hear it come out of his mouth, and he agrees. What is the most important part of this football team? Now, most people are going to say the defense because the defense has come around this year and looked really good, right? But the most important part of this entire team is the run game. Adrian Peterson. We need to find a way to be creative, get him the football. I don't care if we're down. I knew as soon as we went down and behind in this game, I knew we were going to somewhat abandon the run, and that's our bread and butter. We need to run the football and then stop the run. We didn't do either of those things in this football game. That's how we're going to get blown out. Now, I want to see some more creative stuff. I want to see some creative stuff with Adrian Peterson. The guy is a veteran. How about like some flea flicker stuff, you know? Or how about this? Just be creative. Jay Gruden, come on, you're creative. How about we do a flea flicker, right? Adrian Peterson throws the ball back to Alex Smith. Alex Smith throws it back to Adrian Peterson on a fucking screen pass. Why aren't we seeing any of this shit? I mean, come on, Jay Gruden. I mean, I would figure we'd be seeing more shit like that. But we need to get the ball in the playmakers' hands, and we're not doing it. Vernon Davis showed up in this game. We need more Vernon Davis in our life. Jordan Reed was in the game. He made a couple catches. He got hurt. And that's another thing I'm going to get into, which is the performance that we've been seeing yet. Again, I'm going to have to bring it up every single week from Alex Smith. Getting people hurt, man. Do you know why Jordan Reed sat out for like a quarter or something like that? Because freaking he fell on the ground real awkwardly, jumping 10 feet up in the air for a ball that Alex Smith overthrew him. Like, man, Alex Smith, sure, okay, Alex Smith, it's his best game of the year, right? 306 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. And of course, give Alex give him his Alex Smith his dues on the one play where he escaped the pocket, right? And he ran for like 22 yards or something like that. I was smiling and I was like, that's the Alex Smith that we played last year in Kansas City, was it not? That's how he played versus us. He was making plays like that versus us. Where's it been? It hasn't been around all year long, and I'm still waiting for it to happen. We can't do anything but hope it's going to happen. We've seen the man play at a high level. He just needs to get his shit together. Also, another thing, I actually really like the Clinton Dix trade. Now, you know, it's hard to sit here and say what he did in this football game, or, you know, you can't say that he played poorly or anything in this football game because it all starts up front, and we didn't stop the run in this game. So it's way hard to sit here and ask all of our DBs to do their jobs when they have to come up for the run and stuff because we didn't stop the run in this football game. This is like the one team so far that's just gashed us in the run game. I don't know what it is. I don't know if our guys just had an off day. No idea. Can't tell you. I have no idea. But man, it was rough. This was a rough one to watch. And if you watch this channel, how many times this year, going back into like last year, whenever, isn't it every single week I come up here and I tell you this? Isn't it every single week? Seriously. Is it not every single week I come up here and tell you that Maurice Harris is the fucking truth? Maurice Harris is our possession receiver. If it's 3rd down and 9, throw the fucking ball to Maurice Harris. God damn it, it's so easy. I'm just a fan. I sit here and watch this shit for fun, and I can fucking tell you who to throw the goddamn ball to. Maurice Harris, sure hands. My God, after this game, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. He's shown you. He's the guy to go to. So I'm just going to roll some clips here of some catches from Maurice Harris from the game, and then we'll come right back. So, roll the clip.
Fakes to Peterson. Smith lets it go. It is complete. Inside the 5-yard line. It's Maurice Harris. And Harris 13, but this wasn't an RPO. This was just play action. And he wins the route at the line of scrimmage, does Harris, number 13, gets inside of Poole. And look at the concentration, because Poole's hand is right in there on the catch. And then Harris takes it away and swats Poole's hand.
Rough go. They are mixing and matching on that O-line. Smith going deep for Harris.
Maurice Harris makes a circus catch.
As they thought he was actually taunting the defender, but what great concentration by Maurice Harris downfield. And a defensive...
Smith throwing complete. Harris again. He's got a first down. Marvin Harris had himself a nice day.
All right, guys. So I also received a little bit of criticism, I guess, from last game we played, we went up and we were 5-2, and apparently people were a little ticked off that I wasn't, jumping for joy that we're 5-2. It's for the same reason that I knew the Atlanta Falcons aren't as bad as their record 3-4 was. It's just I understand that there's a huge blueprint on how to beat this football team. We don't score enough points. If we're behind, we don't come back. Our defense is good, and not even that. Just even though our defense didn't look good in this football game, I still actually believe that this defense is a really good defense, and they're one of the best in the league. And I think they'll show that throughout the rest of the season. Yet again, like I said, barring injuries. But I still believe in this defense. These teams can blow people out, man. The Falcons have the most yards or something like that. The Saints, they just beat the Rams. We got blown out by teams who can blow people out, man. So I'm not sitting here and gonna stress it too much. I'm ready to move on and look forward to the Buccaneers game. But the reason why I wasn't up here, I wasn't fooled, man. I wasn't fooled by the same shit that we get fooled by every single year. Even though we come up here and talk about not being fooled, I wasn't fooled, man. I understand. I sit here and I see it. We have issues. We are not an unbeatable team. As soon as you shut down Adrian Peterson, everything stops. Everything's done. As soon as you shut down Adrian Peterson and we don't keep running the football and we don't take time off the clock, our defense is out there trying to guard Julio Jones and Tevin Coleman, and we saw what happens. Now, yeah, we can sit here and be happy about being 5-3 or 5-2 at the time, but I saw the holes, I see the issues, and until we plug up those issues, I'm not jumping for joy until the playoffs are within the grasp and we make it to the playoffs. Then I'll be jumping for joy, but how many times have we been fooled? I'm not going to be fooled this time. Even though it looks like, we're having a great season and this or that, I'm not going to be fooled, man. So, man, this football game, I just need to have another segment up here too, which is, the what did Preston Smith do today segment. Which, yet again, man, the guy's got no sacks on the season. Yet we have Ryan Kerrigan over here getting sacks, doing stuff, producing. I don't recall when. I think Ryan Kerrigan was there on a couple plays, and he had some impactful plays, and he had some impactful plays when it mattered. Right when we come out of halftime in this game against the Falcons, I'm pretty sure it's the very first play after halftime when the Falcons have all this momentum. I'm pretty sure that's when Ryan Kerrigan gets a sack or he did something that impacted the game. First play after halftime, he comes out and makes a play. He's making impactful plays. It just isn't there with Preston Smith. It's just not. When we need him the most, he's not there. He's a ghost. He's nowhere to be found. I don't give a shit about what he's doing pressure-wise. You think we can't find other people that can put pressure on a quarterback? No, we want sacks. We want results. And I've got to come up here and say it again because this is not a position that we can be relaxed with. I told you that after the quarterback position, the next most important position in the NFL is who's going to get the quarterback. And our guy who is Preston Smith, he's just not rushing the passer to the point that we need him. We need a killer. That's what's going to transform this football team from as good as it is right now to great. We need a legit killer at pass rusher. And, Ryan Kerrigan is what he is. He's better than average. He's not extraordinary. But like I said, he's got these plays where he's impacting the game when it matters. When it matters, he's showing up this season. Preston Smith, he's got, 0 sacks? What has he done? He picked the ball up off the ground after Ryan Kerrigan did all the work. I'm not trying to just sit here and have a pity party for Preston Smith, but the only reason I'm doing it is because I'm trying to explain to you how important and crucial this position is. We cannot settle for the production that we're getting right now out of what's supposed to be our best pass rusher. We just cannot sit here and let this happen. And I mean, in this game, we got our asses kicked everywhere. It wasn't just Preston Smith. We got our ass kicked everywhere. Our offensive line was just, it's hard for me. I come up here and I'm hard on Alex Smith all the time, but I don't know. There's nothing you can say about Alex Smith in this game because our offensive line was really bad. We had had a lot of moving pieces and stuff like that, but my God, I don't know what we're gonna do. We've been here before. Jay Gruden's been through this before. But another thing I want to touch on is the whole penalties thing, man. Now, obviously, no one's gonna sit here and say, "Oh, we lost this game because of penalties." But at a certain point in like the third quarter, we have almost 100 yards in penalties, and the Falcons have 10. Are you fucking kidding me? And this is what I hate. We had 8 holding penalties, right? They had 1, and it's like the referees in like the third and fourth quarter where the Redskins started to make somewhat of a comeback. They're like, hey, the Redskins are driving the ball down the field now, and this is what I hate. Even though these calls helped us, it's like we're down in the football game. The referees have fucked us with a bunch of penalties over and over when there's holding and shit like that on every single play. The referees are just nailing us with these penalties. And then in the second half of the game, where we actually start getting the ball rolling and we're moving the football a little bit on offense, then we start getting calls to help us out by the refs, because you're just kind of like, you feel like the refs feel like they know that they fucked us. And then they're like, well, let's try to help them out, and let's help them out some now. Like, that's the type of shit. It doesn't matter. I hope this is how all fans feel, but whether these types of calls are helping us or helping the other team, you have to sit here and hate when you can tell that the referees have some type of control in the game, or they're pushing a narrative of the game. And like I just gave you an example of where they did it to help us. Now, what I'm also telling you, Falcons fans, is they did a whole lot of it to help you. They did a whole lot more of it to help you. That's all I'm saying, and I'm going to leave it at that. But Vernon Davis had a great game. We need to find a way to get the football to him. Josh Doxson, the Doc's not in, man. The Doc's not in. I'm sorry if this is going to break your heart, but the Doc's not in, and the Doc's never going to be in, dude. I mean, it is what it is. We know what we got, and we know we got a bust, and we know Maurice Harris is a much more quality receiver than Josh Doxson. And I told you, and I've been telling you every single week I come up here, and now finally someone throws the ball to Maurice Harris, and guess what happens? He catches the football for first downs, and he catches the ball and runs it up to the 2-yard line, and he catches the football, and he catches the football, and he catches the football. What else do you want from me? What else am I supposed to sit here and tell you? We have guys who will catch the football. Alex Smith needs to throw him the football. It's just mind-blowing to me this offense, just how our defense had such a turnaround, right? We had such a turnaround from being a really bad defense this last year to being a really good defense this year. Now, seeing the offense do the same transformation is just it's just kind of demoralizing for me, just because watching these other teams score, man, it's hard. But trying to think of some more positives, man. Like I said, Maurice Harris is a positive. Quentin Dunbar with the interception. I don't know how much or how badly he's hurt or whatever. He went back out of the game or whatever. But man, we need Dunbar to show up. What an amazing story I know all Redskins fans have lived through this story, and we all know that he's a converted wide receiver. But, man, seriously, what a story. Him intercepting that pass when we needed to have it. That's what I'm talking about. Players stepping up in times when we need to have it. Also, in my notes, I'm not going to go through my notes because, the game was yesterday. We've all had time to sit here and dwell and stuff. And, the notes are just there for me to not miss some things. But in my notes, I wrote, when Quinton Dunbar got that interception, I wrote, we need 2 more turnovers to win this football game. When that happened, and we were only down, 7 points or something at that time, when he intercepted that pass, I wrote in my notes right away, we need 2 more turnovers to win this football game. And we didn't get any, and we didn't win. But we got to find a way to run the football. We need to find a way to be creative with Adrian Peterson. Capri Bibbs I'm really high on Capri Bibbs. I think he can do a lot. With Chris Thompson being out, I think Capri Bibbs is a very solid backup. I think we need to get him utilized more. He had a touchdown in this game. We've seen him do some things with screen passes and stuff like that. Let's get creative. We have to get creative. We have to do something to take the pressure off of Alex Smith. We need to do something to take the pressure off of the defense. We need to run the ball. We need to sustain drives. That way our defensive line's not out there getting tired like they were versus the Falcons, because it's going to make us one-dimensional. And I know we're better than that. And I understand that I'm sitting here talking about, hey, you can beat the Redskins by doing this, this, and this. And other teams, I'm sure I'm sure Eagles fans, they're sitting here going, oh yeah, that's how we can beat you, this or that. It's easier said than done, man. Go out there and stop Adrian Peterson. It's easier said than done. So just because I'm up here explaining to you our weaknesses and telling you what we can do to be more creative and get the offense rolling and sustain drives and get first downs and keep our defense off the field, those things that we need to do, it's still easier said than done to stop us. That's why we have the record that we have right now. It does scare me a little bit that Tampa Bay, they can score points, and we're going to be seeing Deshaun Jackson. I don't know if I'm sure he's probably still there. I don't know if he's hurt or whatever. I don't know their injury history. I don't know, but possibly there could be. We need to look out for the reunion with Deshaun Jackson. You guys know how he loves to tear Philly up. I don't think he really left here in such a bad way. I don't think he has a huge animosity towards the Redskins, but the type of person Deshaun Jackson is. He's gonna want to scorch us. And the only person I'm worried about in the secondary, it's not DJ Swanger, it's not Clinton Dix, it's Monte Nicholson. He's the only one I think that might be burned and just might not be ready for the speed and stuff like that of Deshaun Jackson. I think the other guys, they understand it, they get it, and but that's who I'm worried about is Monte Nicholson. But we have no business losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We don't. We have zero business losing to a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, they can score points, but our defense is better. If we run the football, we're going to run the clock out. We just cannot get in a shootout. That's it, man. We cannot get in a shootout with them. Now, I am a fan of Ryan Fitzpatrick, man. Seeing him, being a journeyman through the NFL. What was the last team he played with, the Jets or whatever? I'm like, he had a really good season with the Jets, right? And then they let him go and shit. I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? It doesn't make sense to me. You've seen the guy play at that type of level. He can play at that level again. Now I understand, Ryan Fitzpatrick has his ups and downs, but that's just a guy who has fun playing the game of football when he's winning, and it's fun to watch him have fun. But hopefully, that's what I'm getting at is, hopefully it's so bad that they are putting 2 quarterbacks in this football game, and I hopefully they start Jameis Winston for some odd reason versus us, because I'm more afraid of Fitzpatrick than I am Jameis Winston. So I don't know, man. This is way more of a rant. I didn't expect this to be a rant like this. I didn't, just that whole Eagles segment I had to do. It put a little bit of fire behind me, man. I don't normally like to make my whole video that aggressive, but I just wanted to. Another thing. Paul Richardson is out as well for the season. Now, this is bad news. Paul Richardson is out for the season, but there's also a caveat to that too. And I'm sure there's going to be some people who might not just agree with me. I'm sure there's always going to be some people out there that don't agree with me. But just listen to the statement. What has Paul Richardson done this year for this football team that Ryan Grant couldn't have not done? Was Paul Richardson really that much better than what we had in Ryan Grant? And Now, I was all for letting Grant walk because he was going to get big money from Baltimore, and then Baltimore screwed him over. And now he's on the Colts, right? Or whatever. I don't even know if Ryan Grant's having a good season. I don't know. I don't care. All I know is he was here in this offense, and he was a solid receiver for us. And that's what I'm saying. Hopefully Trey Quinn is on IR, I believe, or whatever. Don't know when he's going to come back, but we need Trey Quinn to come back. I know that when he went on IR, they said that he was going to be able to come back. I don't know what point. That's what I'm hoping sooner rather than later. But, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. We have Maurice Harris. I don't need to say it again, right? Throw the guy the football. He's going to catch it. Just throw him the football. He makes contested catches. He does. He makes spectacular catches at times. He does. I don't understand what these quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins included, didn't throw the man the football enough. I don't. It blows my mind. I don't get it. Or Jay Gruden's not putting him on the field enough. Excuse me. So let me just glance through these notes real fast just to make sure I'm not missing anything big or something that I had. But man, the Falcons, they destroyed us on the screen passes. They did whatever they could to they did whatever they needed to do to get away from our Alabama guys up front. They moved the pocket. They threw screen passes and everything to the outside. They tried to make other people beat them than our best players. They out-schemed us. They outplayed us. They out-coached us. And here's another stat. In this game, it's the first time the Redskins have scored a touchdown in the third quarter all year long. That is horrendous. Oh yeah, there's a play in this game where Preston Smith gets to Matt Ryan and has a hand on him and doesn't get him to the ground. That pissed me off. He's done that in the last game we played too. He got to Dak Prescott and didn't get him down. So Paul Richardson has a nice third down catch. Morgan Moses went down in the game. He gutted it out. Falcons' offense is clicking and ours isn't. Our defense can only hold them so many times. The Falcons were 8 of 8 on first down, or on third down. It was just horrendous, man. It gave us flashbacks of last year's defense. Danny Johnson, shout out to him. Dude had an amazing open field tackle. Here's another thing that keeps happening to us. We are down 14 points. We're down 14 points, and the Falcons kick the ball off. They kick it off to us, and they don't kick it into the end zone, so we have to take the ball out and run it. And every single time someone's done this, we get the ball at the 20-yard line. We need to change that. We cannot sit here and let special teams be picked on. That's literally what they're doing. We're down 14 points, and we're not getting the ball at the 25-yard line. We're getting the ball at the 20-yard line. It's the Falcons outplayed us, dude, in every single phase of the game. That's what I'm pointing out here. They picked on us on special teams. They kicked the ball not into the end zone because they knew that we weren't going to get back to the 25. We need to start fixing this shit. If someone does that to us, we need to get even more than that. We need to prove to them, hey, don't do that, or you're running the risk that we're going to get more yards. Josh Doxson actually caught a fade touchdown pass. I mean, mark your calendars, you guys. That's just, miraculous, right? That actually happened. It only took, what is he, in his third year or something, for us to finally catch a fade touchdown pass, which is like what we thought his bread and butter was going to be when we drafted him. Like, hey, this guy, we're just going to throw the ball up to him in the end zone. He's going to catch everything. Just, I don't know, man. Put Maurice Harris in the football game. If at this point Falcons were averaging 7 yards a carry, recipe for us to lose, man. I said Alex Smith almost throws another interception, but Vernon Davis didn't really help him. He didn't attack the football. Brandon Scherf went down. There's a play where Alex Smith and Adrian Peterson just aren't on the same page, and Alex Smith throws the ball into the back of Adrian Peterson. I mean, it just shows, man. I don't know what it is. There's nobody clicking on this offense. I wrote in my notes, Tevin Coleman beat us. Pretty much Tevin Coleman. I mean, don't get it twisted. Oh, I almost missed this. I'm glad I went through my notes. This game ended. This game was over when Josh Norman has a clear pass interference penalty because he panics and he just grabs Julio Jones and takes him to the ground, and then they get the ball at like the 5-yard line or whatever it is. But Josh Norman, are you kidding me? We're trying to come back and trying to make a comeback in this football game. I don't know what the score is at this point, but we're still probably getting blown out. And you're going to let Julio Jones, of all people, get behind you? Are you kidding me? You ended the game right there. That's the end of the football game. That's the end of the football game. We have zero chance to come back after that. How do you let Julio Jones, on third down too, I think it was third down, and they end up getting like a 40-yard, 30-yard, 40-yard pass interference call, down, and takes them down to like the, I don't know, red zone, goal line, whatever, 5-yard line. Game's over, dude. You just how do you let, that's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Out of all people to let that happen, you let Julio Jones behind you? Like I said, there's not one person to look at this football game and point fingers or something like that. We got our ass kicked up and down the football field. But I'm still optimistic, man. I'm optimistic. We played the hardest games we have to play. Houston's going to be a hard one, but I'm not too worried. I think I'm still an Alex Smith believer. I am. I believe Alex Smith is going to turn this shit around. I do. It's much harder now to say that our offensive line's not going to give him help because they're in shambles and we need to run the football. But it's going to come down to us playing within our division. We beat the Cowboys. We beat the Giants. I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't beat them again. And then we have the Eagles. I think we can at least split a game with the Eagles, at least. If not, beat them twice. Depends on injuries. We don't play them until week 13. It might come down to injuries for us, which is heartbreaking. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what injuries they have. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about the Eagles. But I do know we're mounting injuries now, man. And I think it's going to come down to these games at the end of the season. We got veterans on this football team. We have leaders on this football team. I think we still have the best defense in the division. Just because we got blown out by two high-powered offenses, I don't care. Who in this division has a high-powered offense? Nobody. Nobody does. So, I'm optimistic, dude. I still think we can... we don't even need to turn the shit around. We just need to stay the course. Other teams, they need to turn their shit around. So, I think we can do it. I'm still optimistic. I'm still optimistic that we're going to find something on offense, man. I understand this looks bad having Brandon Scherf out and stuff like that. But we'll see what Jay Gruden has up his sleeve, man. We'll see. So, long-ass video. Didn't mean for it to be such a rant. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I do read your guys' comments. Hail to the Redskins. I'll see you guys next week. Buccaneers, man. I think we can beat them, man. You know how we can beat teams. Run the football and stop the run. That's it. That's our motto. These quarterbacks that they have, they don't really scare me. Fitzpatrick can be hot sometimes. Winston, not so much. But if we play our brand of football, we can win. And there's no reason we shouldn't win. So I'll see you guys then. Peace out. Hail to the Redskins. Peace.